Good morning, listeners. Today is part two of a talk around the elderly, the forgotten generation. And in part two today, I'm looking at the topic of a sense of belonging, or a loss of a sense of belonging, a loss of meaning, and a loss of purpose. I'm wondering out there how many elderly are out there that had these wonderful and exciting dreams about retiring and used to spend time at work kind of just feeling resentful, feeling tired, feeling frustrated, dreaming about how life would be when they retired and getting so excited. And then they retired and it happened, and then all of a sudden they just crashed. Okay. And the reason I say that is I see so much of that in practice where there is so much expectation built around retirement. I mean, if you think about it, you spend your life joking around, oh, I'm going to retire by the time I'm 30 or 40 or 50 or whenever, but you spend your life working and working to retirement. So there's so much pressure and there's so much glamour in society that is placed around retirement, because it gets placed with this expectation of lavish holidays or under the sun going to beaches or just spending your days traveling, going here and forth, and not having much responsibilities, doing whatever you want to do, not owing anything to anybody. And when you come to the reality of it, in today's day and age, there are a very select few that can just retire and live super comfortably and live in a way where they feel this is really wonderful and I can really up my lifestyle. Instead, what people are faced with is, what am I responsible to? What am I responsible for? Who needs me? And then the question of, why am I actually here? What purpose am I serving? Would anyone even notice if I wasn't here? And what is the meaning of my life? And do I even mean anything to anybody? So what reason is there to get up in the morning when you've retired and you haven't set anything up that you're passionate about or that gives you purpose? What are you actually getting up for in the mornings? What are the things that you're looking forward to, that you're accountable to? And those are the things that will make sure that you get up and get out of bed. If you don't have those things, what's going to happen? You're just going to stay in bed. There's no reason to get out. And what do we know about spending too much time in bed? What we do know is it becomes a big hiding space for depression. And it becomes, they talk around the dark cover and the dark cloud and also the dark duvet, because it's a space where you can hide out for the world and pretend and try sleep. Because why? When you're sleeping, you're passing the day away. But here's the thing. It's so important to feel a sense of belonging to people and to things. And if you're somebody that's retired and has experienced darkness in this retirement because it wasn't what you expected, or perhaps you even weren't planning on retiring and you got retrenched earlier and you haven't been able to find work because everyone's circumstances are different, it's so important for you to be able to get to a place where you can have purpose and you can have a sense of belonging, and to find a way to work with people that can give you some form of accountability to help you, to give you a reason to get up in the morning. So I want you to think about, what would be a good reason for you to get up in the morning? What is something that you could do? Have you made your life very uncomfortable for yourself? Or, on the contrary, have you made your life very uncomfortable for yourself? Are there things that you could be doing, or ways that you could be helping primarily your family as a starting point? If you have grandchildren, can you contribute towards dropping them off and taking them places? If you've got a car and you can drive, could you pick them up from school? Can you start talking to your children about ways that you can get more involved? That could be in a routine. You may not want to be totally consumed, but you might want to have some arrangement where once a week on a Thursday afternoon, you take your granddaughter to dancing and you take your son to soccer, or your grandson, sorry, should I say, to soccer. Hopefully not your son if you are retired or elderly. So from that note, we can see, right, there is always a space and a place to be able to help. Are you somebody that might want to volunteer somewhere once a week, work at a food shelter, talk to the lonely? Perhaps you want to do a lifeline counseling course or any form of counseling course online if you're somebody that struggles with motor ability or traveling or just having physical difficulties. Perhaps something where you do it from home. Perhaps you even collect items for a bigger project, for a big cause. But here's your opportunity to do research, to see what's out there, to see how can I enhance my life? How can I give myself a reason to wake up in the morning? What is my purpose? And of course, a lot of that ties into your spiritual beliefs, because so much of that too is, am I living in line with my spiritual beliefs? Or do I even have a routine around my spiritual beliefs? Do I have a routine for myself around my prayer time? Do I have a routine for myself around when I read the Bible? Or whatever belief system you do have that you read from? Am I connecting enough with people with the same spiritual beliefs? Can I be more curious to ask what else is out there? To be able to engage more with the world? Because often when you don't feel like you have a sense of belonging, you retreat from the world. And I'm encouraging you, the very last thing you need to do is step back from the world. The most important thing to do is step into the world. But it starts with taking one step, and it starts with dipping your toes in. So I want to ask you, if you could just start dipping your toes in or taking your first step a little bit more into the world, what is one thing that you could start doing or start thinking about doing once a week that could make the world of difference to you and give you a reason to jump out of bed, or at least throw the covers off with a little bit more enthusiasm, because there'll be a real reason for you to get up, because you'll feel like today you're making the day and the world a better place for at least one person, including yourself. I'd really encourage you to think about that. Have a great day.